Have you ever considered that your hair had a story? The Braid Boy Diaries is a podcast and visual diary by black men for black men about our hair, with me, your host, Matthew Draughter. This isn't just regular barbershop talk. Nah, these are real conversations with real men about a topic that our voices are often left out of. Through our talks, we'll redefine blackness and reshape masculinity through the lens of fades, waves, dreads, and the fadeaways. This is a new kind of brotherhood. These are our diaries. Hey everybody, I'm Matthew Draughter, also known as Manny Matt, and welcome to the Braid Boy Diaries. Today, I'm your host as always, but we're talking to one of my dear friends, Rondell Bob. Before we even get into talking to Rondell, this is an exciting moment. You're a YouTube head.
Yes, I am. I'm deep into it.
This is our first YouTube episode. So welcome. We're going to be putting episodes of the Braid Boy Diaries on YouTube so you can watch me talk to each of the men and you can actually see our conversations, not just hear them on the podcast. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Get all the visuals too, baby.
All the visuals.
The angles.
It was truly told, the whole entire purpose of this was supposed to be a docuseries at first. Okay. And then COVID came.
And that switched everything up.
Yeah. And then they was like, we can't masks. And I was like, oof. So, not mask, but just an actual mask. Okay. Because there's a mask. Anyway, for a mask. But yeah, it was supposed to be a whole entire visual thing that I wanted to point out and film, and COVID kind of halted it. So I had to switch, and I had to figure out like how to still tell people stories and like do them like on a timely basis. Right. So podcasting and audio was the way that we just decided to do it. Okay, so you've been doing the podcasting like virtually, so people can just be in their own space. It was virtual, yeah, because we were doing the whole like Zoom thing, and sometimes. It just depends. Like some people I do in person, so like now, and then some people we just have Zoom because some people live far away. COVID was a thing at first, but yeah. Okay. Because I love this. Because I love just being in the presence and feeling people's energy. It's just I don't know. It's much more natural. It just flows better. No, it does feel good. So, Rhonda, I mean, we've known each other for quite some time. Yes. Years and years. But now you are Dr. Rondell Bob. Yes. Congratulations, number one. Thank you. So you're a doctor of physical therapy? Yes, I am. So it's been a journey for sure. Yeah. Well, before we even get into it, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Okay. Yeah. So I am Dr. Rondell Bob. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. So I work in outpatient orthopedics. So dealing with lots of issues, dealing with this muscle, bones, joints, endurance, balance, just all of the functional stuff, right? All of the things, stuff, yes. All the biology, all of the anatomy, all of the things. But yeah, just out here, just trying to help people and just live my best life, being young, successful, and lit. Young, successful, and always lit. Try to be very successful. So this is the Braid Boy Diaries. You see me with my long braids, but it's not just about braids because clearly hair. And hair stories come in all forms. Today, I really want to be able to talk to you about you being bald. You are a bald baddie. So, yes. That's what you call yourself. That's why I'm saying it right now. That's it. Yes, he calls himself the bald baddie. I'm representing for the bald-headed bitches. That's it. They be trying to count us out, but, our journeys count too. No, it does. And I think it'll be interesting too because I've been able to talk to like a couple of people who have gone bald throughout the show. And it's just nice to get people's perspectives. But you're bald now. Yes. So. And you've seen since the beginning, before it all started and everything. How do you feel now? I feel really good and confident about it now, but like it really was just such a process of coming to terms with it. For the most part, like now I'm at a place to where like I love being bald head. Like you couldn't pay me to get no hair transplant, to no none of the shit. I don't want no man weave. I don't want none of the shit. I just like being bald. It's just easier to maintain. So you have a lovely head. Thank you. Yeah. And that's something I was worried about. Like, do I got the head shape for it? Because everybody not built for it. Yeah. So
Thank God for good genes. Just rolling with it for the most part. But I feel really good about it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been the most freeing thing that you like learned about yourself, like through the acceptance of that process?
Two things come to mind. So one is, so when I was going through the balding, I was still like able to like hold on to what I had. So I was using Rogaine for years. Like I started balding at the age of 19 or whatever, and I'm 26 now. And I just went completely bald and shaved my head at 23. So it was like a 4-year just process of trying to hold on to it. So the Rogaine wasn't really making my hair grow back. It was just letting me maintain what I did have. So by me using it for so many years, like it's a steroid. So my scalp became very irritated and inflamed over the years. It took a while, but like that last year of using it, like
just tore things up.
And I didn't realize at first because I had hair covering it up. So like I could feel that it was sensitive, but I didn't know until like, you know, I lost more of the hair there and I can see it was like bumpy, kind of scaly. I think I had some form of like cellulitis or dermatitis or something like that. So I had to like go to the dermatologist and girl. And so like, look, I'm going to the doctor and everything at this point because like nothing like over the counter is working. So I had to get like prescription strength, like shampoo, like prescription strength, like ointment to like clear that up or whatever. So like this is also prolonging me just wanting to shave my head because it's like I can't just shave my head and be looking busted.
Yeah.
And be having like an itchy red scaly scalp, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta like address that and then shave my head. So because you also can't be putting like a razor to an unhealed scalp.
Well, no, because then you'll really fuck yourself up. And then you need to go to the doctor again because you fucked yourself up even further. Yeah,
exactly.
Jesus.
So even when I was ready to shave it, I still had to wait even longer until like the scalp healed up.
So it took probably about like I guess a year for all that to happen.
It did. It took like a nice 6 months for everything to like really clear up, and then like it was rough because I had stopped going to the barber at this time too because I was like transitioning, and like I had like just moved kind of like further out from the city too.
When you say transitioning, what do you mean by that?
Transition to being bald.
Okay.
So I'm not using any like hair growth, hair maintaining products anymore.
Like you were just
letting it go.
Like okay.
Letting it go. Like I still would use like the black fibers, like the microfibers that you can like sprinkle on your hair to like fill in like any like balding areas, thinning areas. And a lot of people didn't know I was balding for a long time because I used that for years. And it worked like a charm though, I'll tell you that. But if a bitch want to go swimming, or if it's still raining, I feel like them girls that just got their hair done and it's like, oh no child, like I gotta get inside, like give me a paper bag, like got the book bag, the jacket over the head, like.
Okay, so I want to like break this down a little bit. This is great, but like you, first of all, like classifications, just for formalities, openly gay, and have like been. How we know how gay world can be.
Yes.
So as all this is happening to you, like did that affect you like psychologically, like when it came to like dating and like being open and like because you're a very open person.
Yeah.
So like I'm just wondering like how like what that was like for you like during that time period.
Honestly, I don't have many insecurities, but that was my one during that time. Because like for example, like I'm using these microfibers to cover up my hair, so a dude that I'm dating off the jump may not know that I'm partially bald damn near. I'm losing hair. So like if I'm dealing with him, it's like if I didn't have that conversation with him yet, which usually I got better at doing it. Like say I'm just getting out the shower, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, or them like seeing, you know, me in my true form, which I'm not the most comfortable with, you know what I'm saying? So that was a challenge for sure. And like, not that anybody per se says something, but like I can tell, you know, what people's eyes like migrate to or whatever. So, but I wouldn't really even like let nobody see it for the most part. Like I just want my do-rag, like if a nigga was coming over and like, you know, I feel like fixing it up or whatever. I just throw a do-rag on so that way I wouldn't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah. I guess what had you holding on to like I guess like the attempts to keep trying, you know?
It's being so young.
That's real.
I was so young.
I remember because like the episode we did with Ben, like y'all like went bald like in the same like time frames, you know, which was college, and people are ruthless in college. It's a time.
It is a time,
and people are just figuring themselves out. You know what I mean? But no, okay, cool. I mean,
and it's so funny because like my friends and like people I dealt with then, like I guess because it was more sensitive at that point, they didn't play with me about it or whatever. But now I get all the bald-headed jokes. All the bald-headed jokes.
Because they know they just know you.
That's it. They know I just that shit just bounce off me. I don't even care.
Okay, not bad. So, have you always been like shit just bounce off you like don't care?
Hell no.
Okay.
It just depends on what it is. Some stuff I'm a little more sensitive about than others.
When did you get to that place?
What the hell?
No, like just in general.
Just in general. I always try to like not really care what people think, but you know what? Really like coming out to my parents and like telling them that I was gay. I came out when I was like 16, and that was a big step because it's like okay, like mommy and daddy know I don't give a fuck what nobody else got to say.
Yeah.
You know, and then even then, like I still was kind of not really telling people or whatever. But honestly, I think it was when I started college, like 18, just you know, moving to a new spot, like nobody know you, just all new people. So it's just like a fresh start.
Yeah.
So at that point, that's when I really like I can just be me, and it's just a fresh blank page.
Yeah.
So
no, it's interesting. I mean, if I can ever think about, because I really don't envy people for real, because I'm a bad bitch. But I can say, I mean, you've seen the many stages of me getting to this place though. So like, yeah, so like then I was like, damn, like I really just wish that I could just be like, even like I remember like when I moved to Paris, like I was just so afraid to be gay because I was like, someone's going to find out. I was still going to bathhouses. I was still like living life. I was still going on dates 3 times a week. You know what I mean? Like, and get home at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Like, but I was like, someone's going to find out. No one find out. Nobody find out, y'all. Like, the things I did in that sense, I would take to the grave. But
we gonna talk about it after.
Okay, but I really I was like, damn. Like, I really admired like how you like not only carried yourself, but like you just did not care. And I was just like, that is the level of freedom that I aspire to have over my life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've always just tried to just live in my truth for the most part, and then just always stepping just deeper and deeper into it. Just being myself, because I heard this analogy a while ago, and it goes something like, so like we all have like these true internal colors. So like say your internal color is like lilac and mine is red, right? But if I'm walking around acting like I'm blue, then I'm going to attract people that's blue, and then I'm going to wonder why like I'm not satisfied with my life. I'm not meeting people that are you know, really in my soul tribe and all of these things, right? But if I'm telling people that I'm red and I'm walking around like I'm red and I'm being red for real, then I'm going to attract people that are also red, and then I'm just going to be much happier in life.
It is so insane. I was talking to my mom like the other day, and I was like, yo, because we were like talking about, long story short, y'all, my car broke down this past week. Ronnie's like, yeah, it did. Okay. She went kaboom. Yeah.
How many was in it, huh? Oh Lord.
But anyway, okay. I just remember like I turned it off and it was just, and I was just like, what is this tower of smoke?
I knew you were spooked, huh?
I did not know what was happening.
Okay.
And like shit really don't be scaring me. Like I play by myself. Don't try it. But like,
you did by yourself?
Please, it's fine. Yeah. So anyway, not much scares me, but like that was like a very freaky moment. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I talked to my mom about it, and like I don't know what your parents are like, but my mama is like, I love my mom to death, but like she goes from like 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, and I'm like, yo, like chill. And like how you talking about like, if your favorite color is like red, you keep saying blue, you keep attracting all these blue people. She was like, I don't believe I'm afraid of anything. And then she talks about all these things that she's afraid of. And I was just like, your words not matching your actions, my G. If you keep, the more you keep internalizing the fear that you have about everything, the more fearful shit's just gonna keep coming towards you. But I was like, if you change it and phrase it as if like, I'm happy, or I'm blessed, or I'm protected, all those things, like, will start to emit into the space of your energy because it's what you're putting out.
Right.
So it's very, very true. Like, people don't realize it, but it's like, the stuff that's in your life is very much reflective of like what you are calling in. Not even like verbally, but often like subconsciously.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you're gonna attract, people are gonna be attracted to authenticity at the end of the day. Because if they see something in you that they align with, that's gonna make them want to be around you, and vice versa. You know, I mean, that's just how connection works. So I just want to connect with people that's also being real about who they are.
That's real. Okay. So, what was like growing up for you like?
It definitely has just been a journey for sure.
Yeah.
Like, just being like insecure, like kind of in myself when I was like real young, especially just like coming to terms with my sexuality, like when like middle school, when you know you start to really, for me at least, when I was in like 6th grade, that's when I like started to like really realize.
When did you know?
I knew in like 6th grade that like I was it. Like I mean, like I noticed before
so
then.
Nice, y'all. I was in kindergarten. Jesus.
Now, don't get me wrong, I was doing gay shit before that, but like not like anything crazy, but just little, it's like some shit.
I kissed the boy and I liked it. You know,
pretty much. Very much Katy Perry. I'm a Cherry Chapstick child. So it all right. So it was like just like a hard time, like just coming to terms with it, like just like noticing it and then like realizing like, oh shit, but like not being cool with that in myself and not wanting to be that way or whatever. But like just over time, like just coming to terms with just accepting myself. And honestly, a big part of that was seeing other people like me and meet other people like me that was like just much more just even flamboyant, and just seeing how confident they were and how they navigated the world and how they didn't give a fuck what nobody had to say.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just remember like this one guy in particular in high school, and like he just like long hair, long nails, just like bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like didn't give a fuck what nobody had to say. And like I just was inspired by that more than anything, because like he was just himself. And like that, I don't know, I can't do nothing but just admire that, because that to me, that just get real boss bitch. That just get real boss bitch. Like when you don't give a fuck what nobody got to say, and you just march to the beat of your own drum.
That's why I'm not right now in life. Like, for real.
For me, it was stepping outside of my comfort zone. Like stop caring as much about what other people have to say or what they think or what they're projecting onto me, and just like leaning deeper into myself.
The projections, the things that people project onto us. Can we talk about it for a second? Because
let's get into it.
I feel like that is like, I've been in therapy for quite some time, but I feel like I was talking to this guy that I met like recently, and I was just like, it's interesting. Like you really think about like life, and it's like, oh, there's so much stuff to sift through. And then you sit down and start sifting, and you realize that half the stuff you're sifting through is stuff that people have put onto you.
Absolutely.
What are some things? I'm gonna ask you a question in like 2 different ways, but I think from like being black and gay, like what are some things that like you really learn to like let go of, like from like those like limiting beliefs that people tried to put on you, and then also like from like being a black like doctor, like how does that work for you, like in terms of settings of like how you like present yourself or like represent yourself like in a workspace too?
It's funny. So one, because I feel like it's a 2-part question. Like one, I feel like I let go of just in my own life as a whole, like especially my personal life, like what a man's supposed to be or whatever, and just like, child, just be human, just be you. You know what I'm saying? And just let that be it. Let alone like trying to check off boxes because this is what a man's supposed to be, this is what masculinity is supposed to be. Like, nah, like, I'm just me, you know, and just stop trying to label everything and just letting that be. But it's funny because like in the workplace, it gets like more tricky. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, that's your bag, so you know I ain't gonna let nothing stop me from getting to my bag first.
That's real.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like even at work, like I'm still very much me, and the patients love it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't try to be anything that I'm not. Like of course, like there's a time and place for everything. So like I still got like my professional face and demeanor that I put on, but like I'm still me at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So they like when I joke still, and I'm still got my New Orleans accent. I still do whatever I do to them. You know what I'm saying? I still joke with them. I'm still a little sassy. Like that's fine. That keeps them coming back, really, because they want you to be personable. You know what I'm saying? So like, of course, yes, professionalism is super important, but like you have to be personable, especially in like my field or whatever, because like PTs, like we see our patients probably more than any other healthcare professional because our patients come to us 2 to 3 times a week and they spend 45 minutes to an hour with us every single time. So I'm seeing some of these people 3 hours a week. That's more than I see my own damn friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I'm seeing them sometimes for months. You know, some people depending on what they got going on. So like, you know, you got to be able to sell that to them to like make them like you or
That's
whatever.
real.
Because who gonna keep going to somebody that they don't like?
Yeah.
You know, because you could know all the shit in the world, be the smartest person,
but
like
if you
baby,
were dislikable, it's gonna make your job.
I'm not going back here. I'm not coming back.
No, you're an asshole.
Right, and I gotta come here 3 times a week.
Sorry, mom.
Out your mind.
She yells me. She's like, you can't call people assholes, but I'm like, somebody's being an asshole, and they're like, you an asshole. Like,
some people are assholes.
So no, that's real. Okay. I don't think you would know it now. But I think for me, it's like my voice is that thing for me. Because like growing up, I grew up in a house where like my mom's ex-husband was like, you talk like a girl. It wasn't so much that I talk like a girl. It's just I have a voice that literally has so many different layers and textures to it that it can literally do anything I want it to do. And I, as a child, didn't have the power to control that instrument that way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's just interesting, like how like people like tell us things, we internalize them, we let them go, we move on. You were talking a second ago about masculinity, which is the point of this podcast. What is a man to you now?
You know, there's somebody that identifies as one. Honestly, at this point, it's really become more of just a word to me.
It is.
Like I'm less like you have to be X, Y, Z. You have to have this and that or whatever. You have to have like Y chromosome and like all this. Like, girl, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you say you're cool, you know what I'm saying? Because even that is like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really just don't even subscribe too much to just these terms. To me, they're just a bunch of empty words at this point. Because they're so limited.
They are. They are.
Mm-hmm.
I also agree with you here.
Yeah.
But I think for people who don't think that way, I think, I don't even want to talk about that because honestly, if you don't think that way, your thoughts are probably a little too limited. You know?
Yes.
You
know, I also think, you know, also on the flip side, I do want to acknowledge like that being a man does come with a lot of privilege. You know what I'm saying? With being a cisgender man, at least, you know what I'm saying, comes with a lot of privilege and whatnot, because patriarchy is very much real and whatnot. So, you know, I also do want to acknowledge, like, even though I'm like, yeah, it's just a word, but in our social structure, it's a real thing.
Which is kind of why I had to go back to it too. You know what I mean? Like I've been like in these acting classes for like the past few months, but like there was someone that came into class this past week, and he had passed a comment. He was like, sometimes I just feel like as men, like we just have to like just do things and like forget about our emotions. And like when I tell you, every fiber in my being turned red when he said that. I was like, this is a man that does not know the definition of vulnerability. Like, yikes!
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, yes. You know what I mean? Like, yes. Like, we all have things to deal with, but it's like, if you think that you blocking your emotions makes you more of a man, then I don't think you've actually figured it out yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know why or how emotions came to be seen as feminine and weak.
We all have them.
Yeah, because we're human. It's part of the human experience.
You're not. No. You're Superman. That's why Superman's a man.
Yeah.
And his tights are so tight. Anyway, and so are Batman. Like, this gonna be all cosplaying. It's gay. Anyway, in my fantasy.
Yeah.
Bring it back. But no, I do think it's a word. I think there is power in self-identification. Like, I think that's part of the reason why this whole entire thing exists. But do you feel the same way about blackness, I guess, then?
I don't. I don't know. Blackness is a little more specific.
Because it's like, interesting. Because it's like, you brought up the privilege point, and it's like, I agree, but also it's like, when it comes down to this conversation, it's like, I feel like the white male definition of what a man is what it is. And I feel like most hetero, cisgendered men, black, brown, green, whatever ethnicity you are, will still assume to this vision of what a man is that was created by white men. So, you get where I'm going.
Yeah, I get where you're going.
Right. So I'm just trying to. It's interesting because it's like I feel like there needs to be a way for us to collectively redefine this whole entire construct.
Yes.
But it kind of needs all the pings need to be involved to do this.
Yes.
You know? Yes.
But that's why conversations like this are so important.
Yeah.
To just keep pushing the narrative forward and just redefining what it is to be a man, what is masculine and all of these things. So I'm so glad within recent years that this topic has become so much more prevalent. Because that's the only way that culture changes and ideas around certain concepts change is through having these discussions, you know?
Yeah, no, that's real. I'm gonna circle back in my Mariah tangent way, but so blackness.
Yes.
I know you looking at me like, damn, blackness.
Yeah, I am. Something about it just makes me light up, you know? And it I don't know, because maybe me just being such a proud, just pro-black gay man, when I hear blackness, I just think about so much positivity.
Bitch,
I think of I'm black. You know what I'm saying? All of the things beige, caramel, all of the things.
Fluorescent beige.
Cozy. But I just think of just all the contributions and the cultural impacts and just the seasonings and the flavors and just the beautiful shades. I just think of just the loud laughs and you know, I just think about all of that. You know what I'm saying? The big personalities. I just love the blackness altogether. You know, even though there's so many negative, associations with it or whatever, but that's not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Do you think they don't come to mind because you have so much love for yourself?
Yeah, and my people. I love myself, my people. I love being around black people.
Oh, period.
I
will be my same exact self. Here in the hood in New York. I'm just
Yes. And I feel I just have developed such a deeper appreciation for it, just being in so many predominantly white spaces, as a lot of us are, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, especially as you just move up, you know what I'm saying, in corporate America or wherever, you choose to do, whatever type of career you have, just depends. But I know for me at least, for example, only 3.7% of physical therapists are black.
Damn.
Yes, 3.7, less than 4%
so you
are
don't
black.
See no black people at work for real.
No. Oh, I'm so excited though. They had another black girl in the region. I'm trying to make that my bestie.
That was me at work every time I was a new black person. I'd be like, ooh.
Right.
It's getting tears go up.
Yes. I'm gonna talk to you afterwards. Hang back afterwards.
Phone number. Yes.
Right. No, for real. So when I met her, I was just so excited because when I started back in June, I was the only one in this region. You know what I'm saying? And it's 5 different clinics, several therapists at each. You know what I'm saying? So that's 15 people, therapist wise, and there's still other staff, office coordinators, and blah blah blah, and everybody white.
How many black patients do you see?
Oh, I have a lot of black patients. Yeah. I have a lot of Black patients.
Well, I mean, we are where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And even when I started my doctor of physical therapy program, so there's 35 people in each year. It's a 3-year program. So my first year, there was only 3 people in the entire program, and we all were in the same class. I was one of 3 people between 110 people, 3 Black people in New Orleans, which is 60% Black, mind you. So
I want y'all just let that marinate for a second.
Yeah.
You see my face. I'm trying to bring it back. Okay, we're here.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's like just having to navigate in these predominantly white spaces can be so exhausting.
How do you do it?
Try to smile on my face. You know what I'm saying? And because I don't do it for them. You know what I'm saying? I do it for me and I do it for my patients. Because a lot of my patients are Black. You know, especially just working in this area. So like, they bring me joy. Seeing them get better do me joy. Like I don't do it to make connections with my coworkers. Like, of course, that would be a nice bonus, but my primary driver is
to get my work done.
To get my work done. That's it.
Your patients.
I'm here to help these people.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. I mean, we don't work anywhere in the same like sort of fields, like for real. But I just, I'm like tech, like production, like marketing adjacent, and it's so interesting, especially since COVID has happened. But now it's like there's this whole entire like people wanted to like bring themselves, like attach them, like people want to attach themselves to your hip and like walk out the office with you before COVID happened. You know what I mean? And now that I'm inside my house, at my desk, inside my room, it's like people are like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's going on.
What they mean, nosy?
Child. and for me, it's like, I don't know if it's like because like I'm from New Orleans and it's very much just like I'm here to do my work, I'm here to go. But it's like, I'm not here to really make no friends for real. If I made them in the process, cool. Because like, then that means that Jesus sent you to me for a reason. You know what I mean? And all of the people that I met over the course of my life, all my friends, like, have been genuine, real friends because of that reason. But I don't really go out seeking friends for real. Because I believe, one, I'm a friend of myself. But 2 is just like, that part. But 2 is just like, if you come, you come. You know? And if you go, you go.
That's it.
But I'm not trying to, I just think it's so weird that people like go to work to find friends. I'm not knocking people that do.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting.
It is. It is interesting. But I don't know. But I've lived in this region my whole life, so, and I plan on moving within like the next 7 to 8 months, like out of state or whatever. I really want to get into like travel therapy or whatever. Cool. So I'll be interested to see like how that process goes with like meeting new people and whatnot. Like, cause you know, sometimes it's like you just gotta start somewhere, and like a lot of times that's just work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just kind of where you start. Hopefully it's not where you end, but yeah.
One thing I want to segue into, I don't know if y'all can see his arms. Oh, but they're huge. Let's say it again. His arms are huge and they're scary. No, I'm kidding. You've been in the gym like since you were born.
Just came out the womb, just.
He came out there like, oh.
Doing push-ups.
You have lots of forms of self-care. I think like you do yoga. Yeah.
Not as consistently no more, but you know, it's always in the back of my mind. You know, it's sprinkled in here and there.
You still read?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Is that a form of self-care for you?
It is.
Okay. I want to talk about your self-care process. Because the body is always bodying.
Yes.
But beyond like the physical stature that we've talked through lovely today, that's not even a proper sentence. I'm so sorry, y'all. I want to talk about like the mental and like the emotional. You know what I mean? Like, what is self-care to you, like as a Black gay man?
So like self-care to me is just like just making yourself feel loved, like just asking yourself like, how can I best love myself today? What does that look like? And then actually acting on that, you know. So there are like weeks that I may go like, all right, like every day I got to do at least one thing to show myself that I love myself. You know what I'm saying? And it may not always be like what I necessarily want to do, but I know it is something that's in my best interest.
That you need to do.
You know, something that I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's going to help further me, my health, and my well-being or something in some form or whatever. So it looks like a lot of things. It kind of just depends on like what space I'm in, but like I am like pro obviously going to the gym because that's like a mental thing for me too. Like anxiety release and just like my happy place or whatever. But also like I'm pro like take a bubble bath, like Epsom salt, you know what I'm saying? Like light a candle, turn the light off, put some chill tunes on or whatever, and just glass of wine or green tea, whatever your forte is, and just like chill. Like I'm big on that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like good for the body and for the mind to like just relax, right?
And your brain's going literally all day long.
Right. Yeah. You need that time to just slow down, you know? Because especially just living in America, like we're just so production based. Like, all right, what's next? You know what I'm saying? So it's just good to just get in those modes where you just slow down. You know what I'm saying? Life ain't just about making moves. But huge on meditation too. Like that has been one of like the biggest tools in my toolbox.
It's the big one. And for me, I was always like, am I doing it wrong? There isn't really a wrong way to do it.
No.
Your brain just kind of goes places, you know?
And that's okay.
I think meditating, what I've learned is you just have to just be okay with things.
Yeah.
You know?
Be able to sit with your thoughts.
Or just not.
Or not. That tells you a lot too.
It's very much just like being, you know?
It's like one of the biggest tools in my toolbox, like just using it to either like just ground myself or recenter myself, or even just like if there's just like something major going on in my life, like a big decision I need to make. If I can't stop thinking about it, well, just let my mind just flow and maybe it'll take me to some type of resolution and letting that just be or whatever. So yeah, it can be many things. Yeah. So I'm here for it.
What's been your favorite thing to do recently in terms of like, I guess like your favorite have you done anything different recently that you really enjoy doing?
I've been doing a lot more traveling, which I've always done a good bit, but I've been doing like weekend turnaround trips.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's the way it's
been fun.
Yeah.
Like, cause especially now, cause not only that I just graduated, but like a lot of my friends, like we just were all in the same cohort, even if we weren't in the same program. So like, and they all just dispersed and they're all over the country. So I'm just like, perfect. I can go visit y'all. Y'all live in cool cities. Like, I'll go to Houston this week and go to Atlanta this weekend. Child, like, y'all stay there. I'm about to pull up to DC. You know what I'm saying? Like, just going all over the place. So that's been a blast. And they can just show me around. And I just be a passenger princess and just be in a car looking cute and drunk.
Look at my head, y'all.
That's it.
I'm screaming. No, I love that. I love that. I really miss traveling. I've been like in a production. I don't even know what to call it. Tornado, cyclone, tsunami. We can't say the H word. We don't say that.
No, that's a curse word. We don't say that.
I don't curse. Fuck that. Period. But yeah, I do miss traveling. That's one of the things. It gives you like a boost. I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but it's like that change of pace, that change of scenery, like that change of the air is very much needed.
It is.
You know?
It gives me so much just inspiration, honestly. Just like that there's so much more out there just in the world and just to life and whatnot. Just like meeting different people and seeing how differently they live from me or whatever. It's just refreshing.
Yeah. Who are your 3 biggest like influences in life?
Oh Lord. I mean, obviously like my parents, you know, they're amazing.
Is that like
people.
a 1-2 answer? Is that like
I'm gonna say 1-2. They're gonna be like we're gonna make them like 1. We'll make them 1 or whatever because they're amazing and they're super supportive and they always have been. So super grateful to be so fortunate. Oh Lord, my other influences, geez.
That was a curveball. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. No, because it's a really good question. But you know what? I go through these phases where I really dive into people's works or whatever. So like whether they're like writers or they have podcasts or whatever it may be, like, and like I find a person and I'm like, yo, like, I love this. I love your work. I love your mind. I love your thoughts. I love the way you articulate yourself. So, I don't know they're the biggest ones, but like some people that like come to mind are like, I don't know if you've heard of Jay Shetty. Mm-mm. So he's like a former monk or whatever. He's like from London, but he like lives in LA now.
He wrote that book.
Yes, yeah. Think Like a Monk. He wrote Think Like a Monk or whatever. Like, big fan of his podcast and his book and whatnot. Like, he has a lot of just good stuff about like well-being, health, and blah blah blah. Also love Mark Grove. So he talks a lot about like your relationship to self, and but also to other people, because relationships is just what make the world go round, whether people realize it or not. So he calls himself like a connection specialist or whatever. So talks a lot about just that realm of being. And also Bell Hooks. I love her writing or whatever. She's just phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
I have a book that's in my cart and now it's a Bell Hooks book that I really want to read.
Okay. What book?
Yeah, it's about love.
All about love? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that's my favorite by her. And that was my introduction into her work too.
Yeah, my brother told me to read it and I've been reading other things. I've been working on something else in the process, and I've been trying to read those books. But I do want to read that. And there's a book about trust I want to read too. Okay. I'll send it to you. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry because the name of the book's escaping me, but I can remember what it looks like. LOL.
Yes. No, All About Love is phenomenal, for sure.
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, what is one thing that you would tell, like, Rondell, who was like in college, like trying to make all that shit work, that just was honestly making it a whole lot more complicated to just be free? What's one thing that you would tell him now?
You know what? Part of me don't even want to give him no advice. I know it sounds mean, but I want him to just figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because listen. All right, hear me out. Because I want him to work on his problem solving skills. I want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want him to be able to think through things on his own.
That's
I
don't
want him to feed him. I don't want to feed him the answers.
That's a deep answer.
Go through the motions, baby. That's the only way you're gonna learn.
That is crazy. I feel like every time I have one of these podcast episodes, someone tells me a word indirectly, and I think that was my word. So thank you.
And I love him to death, but baby, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think lots of times we want to look for like quick answers or like quick fixes, or like something happens and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like something feels incomplete. We want to fill it in, and it's like sometimes the gap is there for a reason. Like sometimes you need to feel the pain. Like sometimes you need to feel like the mistakes. Like sometimes you just won't get it until you have to do it the hard way, your own.
Yes.
Sometimes. And I get that. I even tweeted this past week, I'm really okay with doing the shit the hard way because I'm always come back better, and it's true. But it's like, as I think about like all those things, it's just like through having like all these things, sure I could listen to people's advice, sure I could ask people questions, like sure I could do all of these things. Sometimes for me personally, it will not be as valuable until I have to sit down and feel the burn myself. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I respect that. I respect that answer a lot. Yeah. Because
it really isn't anything I feel like I could tell him that would just shake his life. You know what I'm saying? That would just change the course of his life. And I don't want to.
Like the lessons are important.
And maybe I feel like that too because I love where I'm at in life. You know what I'm saying? And maybe if I was in a different place to where I'm like, damn, I wish I would have made different decisions and maybe I would feel differently.
I mean, is it true calling card to your acceptance? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In your ability to just accept things within yourself, which is hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to just take things at face value and be like, well, that's what it was, now me, you know?
Yeah.
Because lots of people, often as humans, I think sometimes it's just like, we always love to like think about where we can go, but sometimes we'll hold on to what we were. And it's like, let that shit go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm such a firm believer in that, like that God or the universe won't send you anything new or any new blessings until you let go of what you're holding on to. Like you can't receive anything else until you let go of what you're holding on to. Like your hands is full, baby. How you expect to pick something else up? You know?
It's a word.
Yeah. I try to always move that way. Like that's why like this is going a little left. But that's why like sometimes when people like hold on to certain people and they use them as like
it's not going left at all.
Okay. You follow you see where I'm going.
I'm going, yeah.
So when people are holding on to certain people that they know are not good for them or have served their purpose in their life and they're using them as a placeholder. Waiting for the person that they really want.
Praise dance. Okay.
Waiting for the person they really want to come along so that they can let the placeholder go. But baby, that person not gonna come in your life. You don't have enough space in your life. You have to create space.
You have to create space. You have to literally let things go to make space for things that actually. Because honestly, sometimes as people we hold on to stuff for so long that do not be serving us. I feel like especially as men, because we have the pride thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we can make it work because I said I can make it. Let it go.
Yeah, just let it go.
And I swear to you, something 20 times better will pop up on your doorstep as soon as you do. Guaranteed. So
retweet.
Yeah. This is great.
Yes, I love this.
Yeah. No, thank y'all for the first YouTube episode. I'm so happy.
God, this is so amazing.
Yeah. Any questions you want to ask me before we dip out?
Like, what led you to this? Like, to want to have this platform and you know host this.
So, I think a few things. I wanted to make space for my new self. When I started this whole entire thing, part of the reason why I asked you a second ago, like, what's the one thing you would tell young Rondell? You know what I mean? When I started this whole entire thing, I realized that there was a 16-year-old version of myself living inside of me that had, of course, I'm 27. You know what I mean? And it's like I've lived in like San Francisco, I've lived in like Portland, I've lived in like Paris, I lived in Chicago, like I lived in like New Orleans. Like I had the experience, you know what I mean? But the experience that I literally had was serving the body that you see. So there was a 16-year-old version of myself and a voice that was inside of myself that was just somewhere dormant inside of me for so long. And I really kind of felt like dead inside. And I was like going through this period where I was just like moving from place to place, like hopping in relationship to relationship. And then like I had a really bad breakup. And I was just like, at the end of that breakup, I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. And it was after I came out to my family. And I was just like, what's one thing that you could do to give yourself space? Grow up my hair. And it was like easy at first, you know what I mean? Now it's just complicated because it's long as hell. But it gave me the intentional time throughout the week to pause and give myself space and time. And even like when I had to like go and like see a barber, you know what I mean? But at one point I stopped going to see my barber frequently because I was just growing out my hair. But it was like a check-in moment for me because then I started realizing too, like, oh, like I've been going to the barber all this time because my mom told me to. You know what I mean? Like, let the things go that aren't serving you.
Yes.
You know. So I think it was like through all those moments and like through that personal growth process where I was just like, whoa, like if I can give myself the space to be this human, then maybe I can find a way to give other men that space too. And whether they be gay or straight or bi or like whatever. But it's like, I didn't have a barber that I felt comfortable with talking to him about like everything from like work to like the dates that I went on to like, you know what I mean? To like my family shit up until I moved to San Francisco.
Okay.
Like that means I was getting my hair cut for about like 23 years. And I did not feel comfortable with the people who were cutting my hair.
I hate it going.
And for me, like now, where it's like I'm a Christian, it's like I'm very, very spiritual. It's like I'm very here when it comes to like spiritual stuff and like people with like energy and spirit.
Right.
If your energy is weird, I don't want you to touch me. You really not gonna touch my hair. You know what I mean? Like, so it was really just like a journey. Like it was my own journey and like my own like process of like accepting the fact that like some days I look like this, and some days I have on thigh highs and a tank top, and some days, you know what I mean? It's like the very different versions of myself needed space to grow.
Yes.
And I think within that, I was like, damn, like maybe we could do something for other people too. And it's been really nice, you know? Like, I think it has been something that's given each of the people that I get to talk to, like, a chance to not only reflect and, like, think, but also it's like people get to hear the conversations too. And they think about life in a different way. So I think that's really where it came from, you know? And of course, like, I'm big and my ideas are huge and I'm extra, so I wanted to look a certain way and, like, roll out a certain way. But beyond all that, it was really just the inner child healing. Because I think, especially as men, I mean, case in point, like what the dude I talked about earlier, you know what I mean? He's like, you have to just let your emotions go to be a man. Actually, you being the best man you can be is you being so in tune with those emotions that you can actually like help somebody see something else for yourself. You know what I mean? Or them for themselves. So it's like, it's trying to give men the space to just be vulnerable. Because I grew up in a house with a narcissist for 13 years, and he was the most invulnerable type of person I could ever like imagine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to ever become that, turn into that, but also it's like I would never want my kids to have to experience something like that. You know what I mean? Like, if that time ever comes.
Right.
So it was very much just like a check yourself, and also like help other people check themselves, and like build like, you know, a community in the process too. It just shapes perspective.
I love that.
Yeah.
We need more spaces like this. So I'm so glad you're creating them.
Thank you. It's not, I mean, it's not a safe space. It's a brave one though.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
We don't need no more safe spaces. Yeah, so many safe spaces.
So need no more. We got plenty of those.
We have so many safe spaces, child. And all them people that's in them spaces, half the time they're not really safe. So I really can't wait to see like where we go with it, you know?
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
It's going somewhere nice, I'm sure.
I thank you for the first YouTube episode.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. This is an honor.
Like, I'm really happy because it's like, I mean, like the hair, like when it comes to like beauty standards and like the world in general, you know what I mean? It's just like we have like this clear, not, I won't say clear cut, but like society has this like clear cut way of how they see what is beautiful, especially when it comes to like gay world, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
So it's like, it's really, really nice to be able to talk to somebody who is as confident and charming and also just like as lovable as you are, because it's just like, this is a story that isn't going to just help somebody else, you know what I mean? So it could help like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 other people, you know? And that's the goal.
It is, definitely.
Yeah. Your job is your patience, and you know, my job is trying to heal black men, child.
Baby, good luck.
Oh, girl. I'm not gonna do too much now. One person.
One at a time, I guess.
Oh my God. Thank y'all so much for this episode of the Brave Boy Diaries, where we talk to black men about what it is to be a black man, and we redefine blackness and masculinity. Thank y'all for tuning in. Check out the next episode, and we will be back soon. Bye.